Alright guys, I apologize about the noise, but I'm working at the other work, so it's a little bit loud. I had to add another joint here to the spine, because we're getting into the spine now, and it's pretty basic for us to create the spline IK for the spine. Okay, the biggest part for this is going to be that we need to go from not the hips or the hips override, but the joint right above it. So if I had the geometry, you guys are going to see that our spine right here, we have the hips and we have the hips override manipulator or hips override joint right here. Okay, we're going to skip that section and go from the next spine joint up to where it tees off. Okay, now in your notes it's going to say spine 5 is this joint right here where my cursor is, but whatever you have it labeled, it doesn't really matter, just so long as you're hitting the T. So we're going to go from here up to the T. Okay, so the first spine joint all the way up to the T. And then we're also going to do one for the neck. Okay, and it's going to go, so we pass the T up, we go from here to the base of the head. And that's going to give us a functionality that's going to be a little more friendly for us. Okay, so basically if we go up to skeleton, down to the IK spline handle tool, we're going to go to the option box here. So the IK spline handle tool option settings, the only thing that we're going to have, and let me reset the settings, you're going to see that we have auto parent curve on. We're just going to turn that one off. That's the only settings that we're going to change. We want to be able to parent the curve the way we deem fit, not the way that we would like, or we would not like Maya to average that out for us, basically. So what we're going to do here is just keep everything the same. The root twist mode, that's kind of a cool thing to turn on if you would like to work with that. The only thing that we have to worry about really is that we need to turn off auto parent curve. So we're going to come out here and we're going to draw this in. And let me close my tool settings so we can see everything a little better. I'm going to go from the first spine joint all the way up to where it tees off. Okay? And that's the easiest thing to create this. Now, what we're going to do here is on the side, I'm going to bring in my outliner so you guys can see this. And basically what we have here is we have a new IK handle, so you're going to definitely name that. And you can call it backspline IK. And the curve is going to be what drives this spine. It's not going to be the IK handle itself. Just like the arms were the IK handle, we have the curve here. And the curve is a NURBS object, so the CVs, or the control vertices, are going to be what drive the spine. So I'm going to double click that. I'm going to call this back spline IK. Not IK. Back spline. And I'm going to hit enter. Because back spline is going to be good. And we're also going to have a neck spline. Okay? So we'll create the neck spline the same way. I'll go up to skeleton, down to spline, IK spline handle tool. It's going to go based off of our same settings. So if I move my outliner and I were to double click this tool, the settings are the same. So they remain the last settings that we created or set. And I'm going to come in here and again, I'm going to skip spine 5 or where it tees off, and I'm going to go to the first neck joint. And you're going to see that my labeling is a little bit different. I just had to add these joints real quick for this tutorial. So I'm going to go up to the base of the head right here. And just to give you an idea of what I've done, basically, I'm going to turn on the geometry. You're going to see that this is the base of the head. This is where it's going to be turning and such. And if yours is a little bit different, like if the spine is back here a little bit more and the base of the head is more right there, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to turn off the geometry. I'm going to come here to my outliner. Instead of IK handle 2, it's going to be neck spline IK. And I am putting the spline in there more for like learning purposes. Okay? We just want to know that the spline is what's driving it, and this is going to be the spline. So this curve 1 now, which is the new curve, is going to be the spline. So I'm going to call it neck spline and hit enter. So after that, I'm going to go this way and kind of check it out. And if I go to any of these parts, like the neck IK, I can test part of this by coming over here to the twist and turning it, and it's actually working pretty well. So that's twisting, just to give you guys another view. So we can get no and yes, well, no, twist. I'm going to go to the back spline, and we get this thing to also twist from here. So not the spline, but the back spline IK. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do the twist, and you're going to see that it twists that part, and everything else moves along with it, which is pretty good. So for the next steps, we're going to be going into manipulating the neck spline and changing that up a bit.